Hey mamas. This is kind of like an extra addition to the Cupcake Field Trip Mamas. I was really encouraged this weekend and I really kind of wanted to share just kind of some tips for transitioning, whether you're going through a divorce or a breakup or just kind of starting over. These are 3 things that I wish that someone would have shared with me during my time of transition. So the first one is that there's no such thing as normal. You have to create your own. When I was going through my last divorce, I thought that everybody else had some sort of secret recipe that I was not privileged to, and I just felt like a souffle. I was always deflated, just felt flat all the time. And I used to say to my girlfriends, I just want to be normal. I just, want my life to feel normal. But I realized that there was no such thing as normal. And me and my kids had to create our own normal. And so what that meant was I didn't want to buy Christmas gifts anymore for Christmas. Instead, this is the time where we'll take a trip, even if it's a little one, to like San Antonio. Like the first one, we went to Fiesta, Texas, and we just played, for Christmas. And then we went home to Dallas and we had game night, and it was so much fun. And that's one of the most memorable Christmases that I've ever had. So, I'm just not a proponent of spending $200 and $300 for one meal for Thanksgiving and then, shopping like crazy on Friday. And then come, the next week, you looking crazy because you don't have the rent or the mortgage. I just think that that's so asinine, and I see people do it all the time. So create your own normal, whatever that has to be for you and yours, okay? The next one is to stay connected to good people. Now, I know that many of us have a lot of girlfriends and, partners and stuff like that. But the truth is, not all of them, when you're going through transition, are the best people to really be around. So I will tell you that these meetup groups are awesome because they're strangers and you can create any type of reality that you want to. Like, you can be any version of yourself with these people, that you want to. Maybe even, fake it till you make it to be the best you that you can be until you really get there, because they don't know the situation and you don't have to share. I found a creative writing group. I've been twice. It's really cool. I am trying to ignite my creative juices, and being connected with these people who I believe are innately creative and talented is really sparking some new things in me. It's really igniting some new things in me, and that's so cool. When I went through my last divorce, I have a church group with a single parents class that has been phenomenal. They have saved my life. God blessed me so much with these ladies who really kind of inspired my Cupcake Field Trip Mama, idea. They were at the schools, they were really on it. I didn't grow up that way, really and truly. Being a Cupcake Field Trip Mama started out as a joke that I would tell my friends. Oh, you're a Cupcake Field Trip Mama. You always at the school. You always doing something. But the truth of the matter is, I saw how it helped to change the dynamic in their home. The kids really felt supportive, and I wanted my kids to feel that way too. So church groups, meetup groups, and even that crazy cousin that you may have. Maybe you don't spend as much time with them because you're too busy. Let this be maybe the opportunity that you guys stay connected. Stay around people who can keep you laughing and not wallowing in your mess, if that's the case. And sometimes if you're transitioning, you're just thinking too much. You're inundated with just stuff, and so sometimes you just need a brain break, and that crazy cousin can keep you laughing. The next thing I would say is don't have any guilt. You have to, do you for whatever that means. And sometimes when you're making transition, you have guilt because this is not the norm, or this is not something that is expected. It is completely selfish, and depending on what it is, I think that's okay. If you're in an abusive relationship, honey, just pack your stuff and go. Whatever you need to do for you, you just go. Sometimes you're just not in the right relationships anymore, and you got to go. It is not productive for you and your children, your creativity. You're at work, you're not performing, at your best. This is just not a good dynamic for you. Don't have any guilt about taking care of you. And far too many times, Cupcake Field Trip Mamas, we put everybody else first. we're not our best us when we do that. So, don't have any guilt about that. Also, don't let the kids and your mama and your sister and all these other people manipulate you when you're going through these changes. Sometimes we tend to be so weak for the ones that we love. But I tell you, you matter too. I have just paid attention in this season to my lifestyle and how I have kind of swallowed a lot of my emotions, which came with swallowing a lot of wine and, going to different places and drinking a whole bunch of beer, because I've just became accustomed to using those things as a buffer, food included. I'm a food addict. I am a happy hour honey. I would just tell you, I didn't want to upset a lot of people. I got into the habit of just swallowing my emotions, whether it was food or alcohol or, whatever. I didn't say what I want to say. I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings, which is crazy because I'm always kind of doing something like that. But moving forward, I will tell you that now, because I recognize these areas that are not, healthy, and I've made these changes, I'm such a better person, and I'm very much more well-rounded, and I can think clearly. So knowing that you matter and taking care of yourself, Cupcake Field Trip Mamas, is going to make a world of difference. And if you can't do all of these things at one time, just do one. And I would say just understanding that there is no such thing as normal and creating your own. If you start there, you just created yourself a whole new world. So get at me, comments, questions, concerns. I would love to hear from you, and see you next time.